Good morning. Today is February the 15th. I am at a different location than I have been. I am near a lake where I live and just wanted to display God's glory and creation and just His beauty. Today we're covering some miracles. We're setting up what is taking place after the Sermon on the Mount in the Gospel of Matthew, and just kind of laying out the framework and the outline of what we'll be covering in the near future. Today we are looking at, it's an introduction to Matthew chapter 8 verse 1 through chapter 9 through verse 34. And I have a newer commentary that I bought, written by Dr. Stanley Toussaint, if I'm saying Toussaint. He was a professor at Dallas Theological Seminary from 1960 to 2012, so quite a long time. And just a word about Dr. Stanley Toussaint. Dallas Theological Seminary, they have some free online classes, so I got to watch Dr. Stanley Toussaint teach a course on the book of Hebrews. But he seems like a very, very awesome individual. And local pastor here that I know, Pastor Randy Hahn, he actually had Dr. Stanley Toussaint as a professor and spoke very highly of him. The reason why I bring him up is just to pay homage to him and to his service to the Lord. Just a little bit more about Dr. Stanley Toussaint. He was born in 1928 and he passed away in 2017. He wrote the book, and I'll put a screenshot of it on the screen. He wrote the commentary called Behold the King. In the video I watched, I think you could watch it on Dallas Theological Seminary's. I think I found it through their website, but it's a 3-minute video of Dr. Stanley Toussaint speaking, and he's given advice to his students. And he said he always encouraged his students, one, to teach and preach the scriptures, but second, to love the people. Love the people, very important. And you know, he's one of many servants who have lived and who are living, who have served the Lord and loved the Lord so much and loved people so much. And I just want to pause for a few seconds, and maybe there's someone that comes to your mind who has really made an impact in your life, who's mentored you or loved you or discipled you. Someone who you're just very thankful to the Lord. I have many, many people that I really thank God that has really impacted my life in a positive way. So just as they come to your mind, you know, we thank God for those people, and may we continue to shine the light that they shone on us, and may we shine it onto others as we live in our loving relationship with the Lord and our love that we spread to others. Okay, so chapters 1 through 7, Matthew's laying the foundation for his gospel, and he is really focusing on Jesus' message about what life living in the kingdom is like. Well, some aspects of Matthew laying down the foundation at the beginning of the book of Matthew. If you remember, he covers Jesus' genealogy and his birth and how he fulfilled prophecy in doing so. Also, John the Baptist, he announces that the king is coming. So he goes on ahead before the king and announces to the people, hey, the king is coming. And Jesus' moral qualities were authenticated by his temptation from the devil and his baptism. And the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus gives the instruction for what living life in the kingdom is like. Now we move on to miracles, and the first set of miracles really demonstrates the power of the King, and more specifically power over disease, demons, and nature. Like I said, this is covered in chapters 8 verse 1 through chapters 9 through verse 34. The key verses to keep in mind in all of this when we're thinking about miracles, there's two instances in Matthew that he gives the reasons why for miracles. One is found in Matthew chapters 11 verses 2 through 6. Matthew writes, "When John, who was in prison, heard about the deeds of the Messiah, he sent his disciples to ask him, 'Are you the one who is to come, or should we expect someone else?' Jesus replied, 'Go back and report to John what you see and what you hear. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is proclaimed to the poor. Blessed is anyone who does not stumble on the account of me.'" So as you can see, John sent his disciples just to clarify, hey, are you the Messiah? And Jesus told his disciples to report back what they see and what they hear. And the miracles is the clarification, or the demonstration that the kingdom, that he is the king, and the kingdom of God is here. Second, or I would say the validation, I couldn't think of the right word. The second passage is found in Matthew 12:24 through 28, and it says, "But when the Pharisees heard this, they said, 'It is only by Beelzebub, the prince of demons, that this fellow drives out demons.' Jesus knew their thoughts and said to them, 'Every kingdom divided against itself will be ruined, and every city or household divided against itself will not stand. If Satan drives out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then can his kingdom stand? And if I drive out demons by Beelzebub, by whom do your people drive them out? So then they will be your judges. But if it is the Spirit of God that I drive out demons, then the kingdom of God has come upon you." So the miracles were a sign that the kingdom of God has come upon them. Dr. Toussaint says the character of the miracles bears witness to the messiahship of Jesus and the nearness of the kingdom. Again, he says the character of the miracles bears witness to the messiahship of Jesus and the nearness of the kingdom. Next week, we'll look at the miracles of healing. So there's three sets of miracles. And the first deals with miracles of healing. Second, the miracles of power. And third, the miracles of restoration. So we'll get into more specifically looking at the miracles. Just wanted to set up the outline and framework for what we'll be getting into. I thank God for His Word. I thank God for the church and community, for all that you do for our country with keeping the supplies rolling. And just pray for your families, and just, again, I thank God for all of those who have greatly impacted my life in a positive way. And just thank you all, and thanks for watching, and may God bless you. Bye-bye.